everybody! Today we are doing a book review of George R.R. Martin's Game of Thrones, book number 1, Song of Ice and Fire. So, I listened to this book on audiobook, which I'm going to say probably has a lot to do with how I feel about the book, because I think if I had sat down and read the actual hard copy of the book, I would have enjoyed it a lot better, because I'm more of a visual learner type person, so listening to it was hard for me to focus because there's so many different characters and it's from so many different point of views. So listening to it on an audiobook made it very difficult to follow some of the storylines, but by the time I finished listening to the entire book, it took me longer because I'm like trying to understand what was going on and looking up things to understand what, like summaries of each chapter to understand what was going on. Besides not being able to follow it very well, I really did enjoy it, and if I was given the opportunity, or if I was to find this book somewhere cheaper, then I would probably buy it and reread it later on, because it was a really good book. So I would read it again, and I am looking forward to reading the other books in this series, but I definitely think that I will be purchasing hard copies of the other books instead of listening to them on audiobook, because that for me with this particular book was a no-go. I have listened to plenty of other audiobooks and it'd be perfectly fine and I can follow it, but just for this particular one I wasn't quite thinking, because if I realized just how many characters and different point of views there were in this book, I probably would have went for the hard copy instead of listening to the audiobook, because I know how my mind works. And audiobook for this book was not good. That being said, I definitely would read it again. And I think my favorite character in this book was Daenerys. I can't quite tell you why. It may have to do with the dragons, just because I like dragons. I don't know. I am quite fond of Jon as well. I think my least favorites have to be Joffrey and Cersei. That's Cersei's his mother, right? Because yeah, see, still trying to keep up with the characters, but yeah, Joffrey and Cersei are probably my least favorite. I really did like Tyrion's character as well. So I'd have to say definitely Daenerys and Jon. I really wasn't very fond of Sansa, because just she seemed silly. More towards the end she started to wise up. You know, she's just like a silly girl for the most of the book, and I'm just like, you're pretty dumb right now. And for trusting Joffrey not to do certain things, I don't want to spoil it if you haven't read it, which I feel like I'm behind on this, so most people have read it already, so can't do many spoiling on it anyways, but I will say this. I listened to this book because one of my friends had to read it for a college class, and she really enjoyed it. It was one that she wasn't able to put down, and she kept reading it. No, and if you knew her, you would realize that she's been reading, which one is it? Insurgent. She's been reading Insurgent for like 2 years now and hasn't finished it. So, you know, if she can't put a book down and she finishes it cover to cover, then it has to be good. And I see why she liked it, because of knowing her. I understand why she liked it, and I really did enjoy it, and I would definitely recommend it. I think most people would, because it's very popular right now, Game of Thrones. I do have the first and second seasons of Game of Thrones. I haven't watched any of them, but I have the first and second season. I got them for Christmas, and I haven't watched either one of them. I was really hoping to get through this book first. I mean, I haven't really been reading it since then, but I wanted to read this book first before I watch those. I don't know how much it follows with the book, but I'm going to just go ahead and watch the first and second seasons because it'll probably be a while before I read the second book anyways, and since I have the first and second season, I'll just go ahead and watch those, and then whenever I get around to reading the second book, then that's what I'll do. But yeah, I did enjoy it, and hope you are looking forward to other book reviews in the future that will be a lot better than this one, because I did find this quite hard to understand it sometimes, just because again, listening to it is not good for me with all that was going on. But I did enjoy it, and I don't want to give any spoilers away. So I'll see you next time. Bye!